Hi guys, good morning. Hmm. Is anybody out there? Who's there with me? Karina. Karina. Thank you, Karina. Hi, Michael. Thank you guys for being here. I'm so grateful. I know it's early, and I remember the days when I wasn't sure if even one person would come. And I remember begging my sister Miriam to wake up just so I wouldn't have to talk to myself. Hi, Chase. Hi, Steven. Hi, Shauna. Hi, Betty June. Hi, Sydney. My crew. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being with me for so long. Look where we've arrived. Look where Hashem brought us. Hi, Brandon Lee Taylor. Baruch Hashem. Flocking in. Thank you, Chase. This morning I woke up in my bed at like 4:30 and I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit sad. After having been to Oregon, and being so close to the light, to Rose and Yirah, to the light of Hashem, to the light of Atzilus, it is really a crash landing back into my regular life. I it's like leaves a vacancy, it leaves a restriction, it leaves a loneliness in its wake. Um, but I'm reminding myself, and all of us can do this, that every single one of our lives is a unique adventure with Hashem. At the end of the day, it's just you and Hashem. And whatever adventure you guys are taking together, Hashem lets you take the wheel and drive, and He'll support any dream you have. And it's been my dream. Mashiach has been my dream, and Hashem knows. And Geula has been my dream. And being as close as possible to Hashem is really the longing of my heart. And Hashem knows it. Hashem is bochein klayot balev. Hashem is the only one who can investigate your heart and your internal organs. He knows every nuance that you're feeling. You can share it with him openly. And Miss Rosemary was comforting me at 5 o'clock this morning, and thank you for that, Miss Rosemary. She was telling me, sit on Hashem's lap and tell him everything. And he'll give you the answer and the guidance and the comfort. And he did. And I feel better. I felt that spirit that was hovering over me lift. It lifted right off of me. And here I am with you guys back to myself. And like locked into this adventure that I'm having with Hashem. You're having your own unique adventure with Hashem, each one of us. And when you focus on that, everything else in the environment just becomes background noise. It can't affect you, it can't touch you. When you're having a good time with Hashem. When you're having a good time with Hashem, everything is beautiful. Hi Irma, hi Eileen, hi Allison, hi Ruthie, my girls, my people. I remember a man walked into my office maybe 10 years ago when I was still at my other office before I moved. And we kept the door locked. We always have a buzzer to come into the office. And he walked right in. The door was open for some reason. And he was collecting tzedakah. We later became very good friends. We are very close friends right now. I call him the Lubavitcher. But his real name is, I can never remember it. It's Aharon Yosef Mordechai, or Aharon Mordechai Yosef Barkuli. And he is, one of the highest level souls I've ever met. And he told me, as we became friends, he told me the story of his near-death experience. He got electrocuted on a Friday night, and he came back with an ibor. He told me he came back with an extra soul. And this extra soul allows him to look into people's neshamas and see their life purpose. So I was like, where can I sign up? Can I get can I get a session? And we sat down. I remember in my office on the couch, just me and him. And I have the conversation recorded on my phone. And he told me, he wrote down my name and he said, on the first level of your name, Gila, is joy, happiness. You know, you're meant to bring happiness where you go. And I'm naturally wired for that. I really am. Baruch Hashem, my disposition and inclination is towards optimism always. Like I don't have to try. But then he said even deeper than that is legalot. You're here legalot, to reveal. I was like, okay, whatever that's going to mean. I didn't understand at the time. It's starting to become more and more clear what he meant. He goes, but your soul's purpose is legalot, to reveal. And whoa, what a gift from Hashem when you could sit squarely inside the knowing that you are doing your life's purpose. Gosh, I never knew a better feeling in my life. Whew. And he said to me, I saw his eyes working, and he said to me, before your neshama came down, Hashem argued with you. He did not want to send you. But he said, you threw down your levushim, which I've recently come to understand what levushim. I didn't know at the time what levushim meant. He said, you threw down your levushim, your spiritual clothing, and you told Hashem you're going. And I insisted. And I was very amused by that story because it sounded just like me. Because anybody who knows me and asks my husband, I'm impossible. When I want to do something, not even Hashem can stand in my way. And it just sounded so true when he said it, that I believed him. And I'm so grateful to have arrived at this place where that makes sense to me now. It makes sense to me, perfect sense. And like I was telling this to Rabbeinu, I said, sometimes in my mind, I'm like, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe, I met Mashiach, and I like my mind goes there. And I realized that that's my mochen katnus talking. That's my small-minded, immature self talking. And my adult consciousness will not allow me to pretend. My psyche will not allow me to pretend that this is not exactly what I came for. And I understand the reason Hashem has given me a platform, a microphone under my mouth, a little bit of infamy. I'm a little bit infamous. So I can get everybody's attention. I've been a troublemaker for 4 years now. And I realized that Hashem allowed me to fulfill my purpose of ligalot, to reveal Mashiach, Yirah and his wife Rose. Hashem allowed me to, because I spoke truth fearlessly. During COVID, I didn't care. I didn't care if people made fun of me. I didn't care about people getting angry at me, being afraid of me. I said whatever I wanted to say, when I wanted to say it, and how I wanted to say it. I spoke truth at a time where nobody was speaking truth. You know, little me. It's not some great Rav who got to announce Mashiach. It's not Rabbi Manis Friedman, who deserves it much more than me. It's not Rabbi Reuven Wolf. It's not Rabbi Alon Anava, even though he spoke truth pretty fearlessly himself. Rabbeinu also told me it had to come from a woman. Ein ish. Moshe looked this way and that way, and there was no man. Ko v'ko. But I know I merited to fulfill this purpose of revealing, because I said emes in a time where emes went missing, truth went missing. I read somewhere once that Hashem's signature, Hashem signs his name, emes, emes. And you will always get the emes from me. Always will you get the emes from me. It's the best gift I can give you, even if it hurts you. All I ever want to hear is the truth. Just tell me the truth. I was in dental school. I remember this. We were in the pediatric clinic. And this little girl looked at me and she goes, "You have a long nose." And I was like, "Thank you. Finally, someone told me the truth." And even if it hurts, it's the truth. And the truth always feels good. I wanted to compile a list today of proofs of why Rabbeinu Yirah is the Raya Mehamana, is Moshe Rabbeinu reincarnated on the planet right now, is the Goel Rishon and the Goel Acharon right now. He's here, he's embodied, he's incarnated, he's living in Oregon with long hair and tattoos and a beautiful wife named Rose and 3 beautiful kids. I wanted to compile that list, Rabbeinu, from the video you had made yesterday called Melech HaMashiach and the 4 Fallen Meshichim, which I will link below if you haven't watched it, where you run through a lot of proofs, like all the proofs from Zohar and Torah, citing the Raya Mehamana, citing the Meshichim, showing on the Ilan the placement of the Meshichim. And I realized I'm not going to do a better job than that, bringing the proofs. Like, I cannot you showed the text on the screen, you showed it on the Ilan, on the diagram, exactly where the Meshichim are, how they fell. It's all laid out, clearly, spoken plainly. I realize that I'm a girl. I don't think logically. I really don't, and I never did. If you know Tarot by Janine, for you guys watching, she once said something to that effect also, like, I'm a non-linear thinker. You know, she said she's a Taurus. I'm also a Taurus. Like, I don't think sequentially or logically or proof-based. I never had proof-based thinking. I didn't come to my awareness about Rabbeinu Yirah being the Raya Mehamana with any proof. Nothing in that video that he shared was what I needed. It's nice to hear it after the fact, but I've come to realize that If you need proof, if you need proof, no amount of proof will come to satisfy you if you need it. If that's what you need for convincing, how do I know this? COVID, fresh off of COVID. When I tried to convince people with proof about the this on the face, about the this in the arm, I tried to convince people. I brought them studies. I brought them videos of doctors speaking about brave doctors who are the anti-mainstream rhetoric, brave enough to lose their licenses and speak out against it. That alone told me that they were right if they were taking their licenses away. I didn't need proof in COVID. I didn't need to know studies on the microns of the masks that allowed bacteria to go in. I didn't need any, nope. I didn't need to know the ingredients of the vax. Nope. How did I know? My seicha told me. My seicha told me the government is trying to muzzle you. Do you not see you are being muzzled? Do you not see that your government is enlisting your neighbor to report you to authorities for not being muzzled? I was able to see the bigger picture and not get lost in the weeds, lost in the details. I was able to zoom out. I was able to see the fact that I was talking to Rose on the phone last night about this. We were having a laugh together. Like, did you not see, like, they were bribing you with Dunkin' Donuts and weed where they live out there on the West Coast? Was that not suspicious? They were coercing, they were motivating by fear. All of those things informed my seichel not to do any of that. And I was like, like shock and amazement that I was like, how do you not see it? Like, I was like, I would look at people, I'd be like, how do you not see that? It was so obvious to me. And in the same way that that was obvious as day to me from the jump, it is obvious as daylight. The sun that is just rising outside my window, it is obvious as daylight to me that Yirah is the Melech HaMashiach. Moshe Rabbeinu incarnated on the planet. The neshama of Atzilus come down, drop down into a body. Same, to the same degree. And I can't convince you with proof. I could sit and take dictation on his hour-long video yesterday about the four fallen Meshichim, and I could present it to you. But if you need that, it won't help you. And I saw on my Facebook people, friends of mine who I still love you guys. I still have love for you guys out there, picking apart his video, detail by detail. And it reminded me of the same thing in COVID. People picking apart the details of why the thing on the face was good for you and the thing in the arm, but this, but that, but this, but that. I'm like, zoom out, people, zoom out and see that you're being muzzled and see that you're being injected with, you know what, poison. And in the same way, I say zoom out here with Reb Yirah. Zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Does it make sense to you? It's somebody that looks like him, dressed it up in that suit that Hashem clothed him in. Does it make sense that he knows how to explain the deepest level SEFER from Chaim Vital on the Arizal? Does that make any sense to you? I've never heard anybody explain anything to the degree that he does and with the clarity that he does. He's methodical. And when I go back and watch his stuff over and over, I understand that every sentence you can hit the pause button. Every sentence you should hit the pause button and process what he just said. Because every sentence contains so much, a mountain of information to process. And people are getting hung up on stupidity. How I knew? How did I know? If I have to go back in my memory, it was when I saw on YouTube, he flashed his golden elan. He flashed his golden elan that he had received as a gift in the mail. Similar to the tunic from the imams and all the other millions of priceless museum quality gifts he's receiving in the mail. He received a golden elan, solid gold. I saw it on his wall. I went over to that elan and I thanked it. When I was there in person, I thanked it for informing my seichel. Because my seichel said to me, does not make any sense. That somebody who looks like that, looks like a bro, looks like a dude, that Hashem would deem him worthy of having that be in his possession. Hashem himself flashed that golden elan in my face. And I fought it for a while. I was like, no, it can't be. It can't be. And then Garment set up a conversation with us. It was the last week in August. And we spent 3 hours on the phone, that first conversation, me, Garment, and Rabbeinu. And they taught me the concept of a created thing from a created thing, which I have a video of Rabbeinu teaching on my channel that you could look for. He gave a private class on it. It's funny because Hashem gave me my assistant, Anna. When she goes away, I don't work because she's my right hand and I can't function without her at the office. She went away for that week and I wasn't able to get coverage for that Monday and Tuesday. Hashem set those days apart for me to have that conversation with those two. Because he knew it was the beginning of a new phase of my mission on this earth. It all becomes clear in hindsight. And I wish it for everybody out there that they know their specific tafkid, their specific mission, their specific adventure that Hashem and them are on together. Hi, Max. Hi. Hi, Irma. Hi, Susan. So for the past 3-4 years, you guys have been with me on my Telegram channel. And we have been sharing all the stuff. This online spiritual community is exploding with talk of ascension. Ascension became a trend, became a buzzword. And my whole feed became filled with people in the secular new age. I call it new age, but it's the online spiritual community. Not the religious community, but the spiritual community, talking about ascension 24/7. Concepts like channeling, near-death experiences, timelines, timeline shifts, Mandela effects, all the stuff that we've been learning about. Time travel, aliens. But the main umbrella is called ascension. Ascension symptoms. You know, Alexander Quinn is the king of that. Yeah. Since 2020, Karina, correct, especially. So I always held in my heart this question for Hashem. I was like, Hashem, I'm a firm Jew. I'm an Orthodox Jew, right? And I know what I hold is true, and I know what I hold is the light. And what do I hold? I hold the Torah and I hold the mitzvos. I'm a practicing Jew, and I know in my heart and soul that that is the highest truth on the planet, the highest truth on the planet. And the rest of the world doesn't know that. They look at Jews as, strange and weird and doing weird stuff, kind of like the Amish. We're set apart. And I was like, Hashem, how are you going to bridge this? Like, I'm very drawn to all the ascension topics. I was binge watching everything I could. And I resonated with all of it. And I know that, oh God, Dolores Cannon, how can I forget her? I read all Dolores Cannon's books, talking about the big shift that's coming, how we're moving to new earth. Like, Hashem, how are you going to merge concepts of Torah and mitzvos, of Torah and ascension? What's the bridge? What's going to be the bridge to bring it together? Because I know I grew up with the concepts of Mashiach. Mashiach is coming. Ani ma'amin bi'amuna shalema b'vias haMashiach v'af al pi she'yismamea im kol zeh achake. And Torah. The blueprint of creation, Hashem lived with the Torah for 2,000 years before he created us. You telling me that's not going to be part of Ascension? New Earth? Dolores Cannon never spoke about it. And she's the guru. She never brought Torah into her conversation. I would always look in their books, in people's books, for some connection to Torah, to make that bridge, to understand that the Jews are at the epicenter of this story. They are, like it or not. The Jews carry this light that humanity needs to ascend. So I always wondered, I'm like, Hashem, like, well, it's getting rough out here. Like, when is this connection going to come in? Of Torah to ascension. Of Torah to ascension. When are you going to merge Yiddishkeit, Torah, the geschmack of Torah, to the conversation of ascension? And Hashem knew. Hashem knew it was coming. Because just when I thought they were going to remain separate, distinct entities from each other, in walks Yirah into my life. And what does he call his magnum opus? What does he call his text, in which he told me while I sat on his couch that this text, reading it, knowing it, owning it, possessing it, will help you acquire your light body for ascension. What is it? What's the name of this text? Page 1. This Zot Torah's Ha'olah. This is the Torah of Ascension, written by Yirah. Available on Book Baby. Also available for free. He gives it away for free by PDF under every single one of his videos. And in the intro of his videos, you could scan the QR. And this is how he tracks where it's traveling in the entire world. The world peace is traveling everywhere. Because right after that, he declares world peace in his world peace document. And he relates the Hebrew letters that were also with Hashem before creation. He relates the Hebrew letters to reality, to our faces, to our trees, to our planets, to our atoms, to our aliens. I was away for Shabbos. My sister made a wedding and we were at Shabbos Shavuot Brachos in New Jersey. And it happened to me. I knew that I've heard other people in the community describe this process where all of a sudden the Aleph Mem Shin sinks in and hits you, and everybody around you becomes Aleph Mem Shin. I was holding my grandson in bed. He fell asleep in my arms. And I'm just looking at him and I'm like, oh, there's his Aleph Mem Shin, his tiny little Aleph Mem Shin. Aleph Mem Shin. Aleph, air. Mem, taking in liquids and solids, Shin. Aleph separates Mem from Shin. Aleph separates Mem from Shin. We all have it. And it's the Hebrew letters. It's the divine pattern of creation. And I saw it every speaker that weekend, every waiter that weekend, every stranger I passed on the street. All I could see was their Aleph Mem Shin on their face. And it made me love them. It made me love them. I'm like, oh my God, you're a creation of Hashem too. It's stamped right there on your face. And then you go a little deeper and you see tree on top of tree. The kesser of the face on top of the kesser of the body, because the body on top of the tree of the body, because the body also is an Aleph Mem Shin. Your lungs separate your stomach from your head, perceiving the light. The teachings just begin to dwell inside of you and grow inside of you and expand. They become so big. Rabbeinu Yirah's teachings become so big that it fills your whole vessel. And this is how we usher in world peace. This is it. There's no other way other than seeing the divine in each other. You'll never hurt another creature if you see his Aleph Mem Shin, because you know you're hurting Hashem himself. All other types of world peace are fake news and pretend. I just heard my sister Miriam sent me a joke. Biden is offering $770, which is a funny number. Lavatory Rebbe. $770 to all the people affected by the fires. That's hilarious. Hashem is waking us up. And I just know, I have this feeling, you guys, that the Q team knows about Rabbeinu Yirah. And they're waiting on his world peace document to hit a certain threshold to anchor in the concept of world peace through the Hebrew letters. Because remember, Sheila Holmes had said that the Q team uses the Hebrew letters to predict the moves of the deep state. So we must also use the Hebrew letters as an antidote and bring world peace through them. This is it, guys. Remember I said we're at the tip of the spear? Remember I said when we have Zohar, we had Zohar and Q? You guys remember me saying that before I met Rabbeinu? I said, we're the tip of the spear. If you have Zohar and you have information about the Q team, you're at the heart of the truth. So what I want to do next, I want to take a little break, a little intermission from reading to you guys Likutei Yirah. And we'll pick it up after we take this break. But right now I've been smitten, totally smitten. And I learned from Bashar of the New Age spiritual online community, Ascension community. Bashar is a big part of that. I learned from Bashar that you should follow your highest excitement. And what is my highest excitement right now? The thing that I read over Shabbos in New Jersey, the house that hosted me, the lighters in Passaic. I came down Shabbos morning holding the pages that I had printed out from Rabbeinu Yirah on the order of emanation. And I snuck into the study there, and the husband was there learning Chumash and Torah. And he invited me in. I peeked my head in, and I didn't realize he was in there, and I was gonna run away. He's like, no, come in, you can learn in here. And it happens to be, we both grew up together in Scranton, Pennsylvania. Woohoo! And so we know each other from way back, from when we were teenagers. He's older than me, but he was like that cool older guy. But he was interested in what I was learning, and I read a little bit to him. And I realized everybody is longing for the Sodot of Torah. He was saying, I don't understand this thing about olive oil. Why is olive oil always brought up in the Torah? Like one of the blessings to one of Yaakov's sons, and it was mentioning it, and he was agitated. I could see he didn't have the answer. He was struggling. His soul knew the answer, but his brain couldn't find the answer. And I didn't have an answer for him. I'm sure Rabbeinu Yirah would have a perfect answer for him about why olive oil is a recurring theme in the Torah. But I explained to him that I met somebody very special online, and I think that we're all going to have a lot more answers soon. And he was intrigued, and I read out loud some of the stuff to him. And I realized, thank God, Baruch Hashem, the progress that I have made, because I was him like 3 months ago. I didn't know nothing. And because I'm immersing myself in the teachings of Rabbi Yirah, my vessel has expanded to the point where I can speak and understand the language of the tree of life. So what we're going to be doing is reading this brand new manuscript that is in the works. It's not even published yet, but you and I, we're going to be learning together for the next few classes, The Order of Emanation by Yirah. He's like smack in the middle of writing it himself. So we're going to be reading it together as he's writing it. I want to read to you one thing before we start doing that. The Baal HaTanya in Igeret chapter 26. And this is something Rabbi Yirah often quotes pretty often, because he wants us to understand this. Says, in the time to come, which is now, Israel, us, Yashar El, Israel will taste of the tree of life. What is the tree of life? The tree of life is the Zohar. Rabbi Gozlan has said this. The tree of life is nothing else but, speaking of Zohar, the tree of life is Zohar. Just understand that concept. What is the clinging to the tree of life? Eitz Chaim hi lamachazikim ba. It is a tree of life to those that cling to it. The Zohar, get your hands on the Zohar and cling to it. The Baal Tanya continues, and through the Zohar, they will leave their exile with mercy. Mercy! And this is the best part, you guys. Listen to this. And the tree of good and evil, prohibition and permission, impurity and purity, the Torah that we hold today, that dominates our life, that we can't move left or right without consulting a rabbi and getting permission, coming in and out of states of purity and impurity. Guess what's going to happen to that Torah? And the Jews aren't ready for this, but they're going to have to get ready for this. That Torah from the tree of good and evil, the Torah of Berea and below, will no longer domineer over Israel. The Erev Rav will no longer domineer over Israel. The ones that made the religion of Judaism so oppressive, they put a klipa over Judaism. And they made us robots, mindless robots, of having to fear doing everything perfectly and right, and by routine, and by fear. That Torah, says the Baal Tanya, will no longer domineer over Israel. Their sustenance, the sustenance of the Jewish people, will be from the side of the tree of life alone. Alone. A new Torah is coming for us. A new Torah is coming for us. The Lubavitcher Rebbe, and Ani's working on getting me the clip of this. The Lubavitcher Rebbe gave a Fabrang where he said that this Torah that we hold today will be lahevel varik, nothingness, vanity. And I think that'll be a relief for most Jews because the Jewish lifestyle has gotten away from us with 1,000 different hashgachas for everything, with having all the micro minutia of observance. It's gotten stupid, truly. The Erev Rav has sucked all the joy out of Judaism. And I'm so grateful for Hasidus and music and Breslov Hasidim for bringing back joy to Judaism. The Order of Emanation by Yirah Ari. I said to those who sat in darkness, who declares the mighty acts of Hashem? They asked, who is this who? And I responded, He who concealed himself in who? What does this mean? This is me talking now. When it says who declares the mighty acts of Hashem, that is not a question, that is a statement. This is what Rabbeinu has taught me. There are no questions in Torah, there are only statements. So who declared the mighty acts of Hashem is telling you. Who? The thing called who is what declares the mighty acts of Hashem. They asked, who is who? And I responded, he concealed himself in who? Meaning, Hashem concealed himself in Bina, in the Nun Shari Bina, and the person who came and transmitted that to us, which is Moshe Rabbeinu on Har Sinai. He brought down the trans-dimensional document to this realm from the above realm called Torah. They asked, who taught you? I replied, who indeed? Those who sat in darkness have seen a great light. Have you seen the face of the Holy One? They said. None may see and live, I responded, yet I live. Let me read that again. Those who sat in darkness have seen a great light. Have you seen the face of the Holy One? They said, none may see and live. I responded, yet I live. As it is written, he spoke face to face as a man with his friend. They replied, tell me of his face. I said, silence your mind. Be still and know that I am Hashem. Harpu u'da'u. Ki anochi Hashem. I will be exalted among the nations. I will be exalted on earth. Arumba goyim, arumba aretz. After having read the beginning of this brand new manuscript that's being written in real time, I came to understand what I have read so far in Likutei Yirah, book 9, even better, which is why I want to take this break with you guys and read this together. It is 24 pages, and I'll share it to my Telegram. It was shared on Rabbeinu Yirah's new WhatsApp group that was formed yesterday. So I'll share it there. You could print it out and follow along with me. This was just the first paragraph, the intro. And we will pick up here again next week, and we'll do a few pages each class. And we will take in the light together, and this light will expand our vessels to be able to understand more and more sodot of Torah. It's a lot to digest if your system isn't big enough. But all we can do is devote ourselves to the work of it, to the toiling of it. If this man can toil for 10 years producing it, we can toil taking it in and expanding the pain that comes with expanding your vessel, but also the joy. Ooh, is there joy? Oh my God, I never knew such pleasure from having his sentences hit you. They just hit. And it's like a direct, it's like I want to say something. It's like a spiritual orgasm. It's like that second of like, oh my God, Hashem, thank you. Like you just can't believe that you just felt so much pleasure from learning Torah. And this is what Billy said, that Billy said in his class, that the pleasure that's coming for us is 60 times greater than the best sex you've ever had. And like sometimes when I'm reading this, I'm like, oh, that's what Billy meant. um, I love you guys. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for this loyalty you have to me when so many others have doubted me, called me crazy, called me cultish. It's all good. All publicity is good publicity, and I thank everybody because even if you're against me, you're helping me. It's true. It's true. And we're all going to hold hands going into Geula together. We will pick up. Oh, I like that one, Chris. It is a kind of sex, knowing God, right? Like Adam knew Chava. That kind of knowing. Woo! Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so today is Tuesday. I will see you guys back here Thursday and print out those 24 pages that I'm going to share so you could follow along. It really helps anchor it in if you follow along with me. Have a wonderful day. Love you so much. Mwah.